Myself, Dr. Hanuman Prasad. I am working as an assistant professor in the Department of Chemistry at Institute of Aeronautical Engineering, IARE, which is located at Dundigal. The topic that I am going to discuss is from Module 5, Gender and Culture. And the name of the topic is Gender Sensitive Language. The contents I am going to discuss as a part of this topic are introduction, pronouns, gendered nouns, proper nouns, sex versus gender, references, finally references. Okay. So let's look at each and every content in detail. The first content is introduction. So gender sensitive language means English language. So with respect to each gender, we have to use language specifically. Okay. You should not use language common to any gender. Okay. Based on gender, the language will vary. Okay. English speakers and writers have traditionally been taught to use masculine nouns and pronouns in situations where the gender of their subject or subjects is unclear or variable, or when a group to which they are referring contains members of both sexes. Okay. So observe carefully, English speakers and writers have traditionally been taught to use masculine nouns and pronouns in situations where the gender of their subject or subjects is unclear or variable, or when a group to which they are referring contains members of both sexes. Okay. For example, the US Declaration of Independence states that all men are created equal. And most of us were taught in elementary school to understand the word men. In that context, includes both male and female Americans. Okay, so here men includes both male and female. So take a note of that. Here men include both male and female. So can anyone guess? In the olden days, people used to follow that way. So men for both sexes. But it is not correct according to recent era. Okay. So in recent decades, however, as women have become increasingly involved in the public sphere of American life, writers have reconsidered the way they express gender, identities and relationships. Okay. In recent decades, however, as women have become increasingly involved in the public sphere of American life or any country's life, writers have reconsidered the way they express gender identities and relationships. So that means men corresponds only male, whereas women corresponds when only female. So since in the previous era only men are involving in many public spheres of country's life, so they have included men for both sexes, both male and female. But now in the recent decades, both are equally participating in the public spheres of country's life. So men means male, women means female. It is men is not common for both sexes. Please take a note of this according to recent era. Okay. So I hope you all understood what happened in the previous era and what is happening in the recent era. Most of the English language readers no longer understand the word men to be synonymous with pupil. So previously, men is synonymous with pupil. Means it includes both sexes, both male and female. Here pupil includes both sexes. Means male and female. Okay. So writers today must think more carefully about the ways they express gender in order to convey their ideas clearly and accurately to their readers. Okay, so what is the conclusion? Writers today must think more carefully about the ways they express gender in order to convey their ideas clearly and accurately to their readers. Okay, tackling gender sensitivity in your writing is no small task, especially since there is not yet and there may never be a set of concrete guidelines on which to base your decisions. Okay. Fortunately, there are a number of different strategies the gender savvy writer can use to express gender relationships with precision. Okay, what is the fortunate thing? There are a number of different strategies the gender savvy writer means the writer of gender sensitive language, okay, can use to express gender relationships with precision, okay, with accuracy. Gender sensitive language provides you with an overview of some of strategies so that you can mix and match as necessary when you write. Okay? What gender sensitive language provides? It provides you with an overview of some of the strategies so that you can mix and match as necessary when you write. Okay? So gender sensitive language is very, very important to correspond or to represent the particular gender. Okay. So as I told, men is not common for people. People represent both sexes such as male and female. So men represents only male, woman represents only female. Men doesn't represent both sexes. Similarly, woman doesn't represent both sexes. Okay. As I have explained in the previous era, men are actively participating in more numbers to the issues of society or issues of particular country's life. Okay, so that is why in the golden era men are considered as both sexes, because men are only the people those are participating in the issues of the particular country. But in the present era or in the current era, both the sexes are equally participating in the issues of the particular country. So we have to specify men only for male and women only for female. It is not that men for both sexes, or it is not that men for the people. Okay, I hope you understood. Let's move on to the next content, pronouns. What is a pronoun? You all have awareness that what is a pronoun? A pronoun is a word that substitutes for a noun. Pronoun is a word that substitutes for a noun. Okay. The English language provides pronoun options for references to masculine nouns, feminine nouns, neutral or non-human nouns, but there is no choice for sex-neutral third-person singular nouns. Let's look at these four cases carefully. Masculine nouns. For example, he can substitute for Tom. Any male name can be substituted by he. And any female name can be substituted by she. For example, feminine nouns. For example, she can replace Lucy. Means Lucy can be replaced by she. Where Lucy is noun, she is pronoun. Similarly, in the previous example, in the masculine nouns, Tom is noun, he is pronoun. Okay. And in the third case, neutral or non-human nouns. For example, it stands for a tree. Here, a tree is neutral or non-human noun. Okay. So, which can be replaced by it. So, a tree is a noun, whereas it is the corresponding pronoun. Okay. And the fourth case, but there is no choice that exists for sex-neutral third-person singular nouns. For example, the writer, the author, a student, or someone. Okay. They are sex-neutral third-person singular nouns. they do not have any pronoun. There is no choice for those kind of nouns. Okay. So there are choices for three kinds of nouns: masculine nouns, feminine nouns, and neutral or non-human nouns. But there is no choice for sex-neutral third person singular nouns. Okay. So it is very crucial to note down and very crucial to follow it. Although most of us learned in elementary school that masculine pronouns he, his, him should be used as the default in situations where the referent means the person or thing to which you are referring. So referent means the person or thing to which you are referring is considered as referent. Okay. So where the referent could be either male or female, that usage is considered unacceptable now. What is unacceptable now? Although most of us learned in elementary school that masculine pronouns he, his, him should be used as the default in situations. So as I told, these masculine pronouns are used for all the cases. Because as I told, in the olden era, male or men are participating more in number to solve or to address the issues of the particular country. Okay. So that is why masculine pronouns are used for all the nouns. But it is not true. It is not acceptable. Means it is unacceptable now. Because both are equally participating in the issues of the particular country. That is the reason why masculine pronouns are used only for masculine nouns. Feminine pronouns are used only for feminine nouns. Whereas neutral or non-human pronouns are used only for the corresponding nouns. Okay. So muscular pronouns are not common. Okay. Please take a note of this. So that is what I have explained in this slide. So this is the introduction to pronouns. Okay. Masculine pronouns, feminine pronouns, neutral or non-human pronouns, and finally sex neutral third person pronouns. So these pronouns correspond to represent to relevant to corresponding nouns. Okay. Now let's continue. So what should you do when you are faced with one of those gender neutral or gender ambiguous situations? Means that fourth kind is there, na? Sex neutral third person singular noun. If you face with those kind of gender neutral or gender ambiguous situations, what do you have to do? Well, you have got few options. Use they. The first option is you can use they. So according to the situation, not every case. Okay. So this option is currently much debated by grammar experts, but most agree that it works well in at least several kinds of situations. Okay. So most of the people agree that it works well. It means they. The pronoun they works well in at least several kinds of situations. In order to use they to express accurately gender relationships, you will need to understand that they is traditionally used only to refer to a plural noun. Okay? They is used only to refer to a plural noun. Okay. So how they is traditionally used? It is traditionally used only to refer to a plural noun. Okay. For example, Sojourner Truth and Elizabeth Cady Stanton were famous first wave American feminists. Okay. Sojourner Truth and Elizabeth Cady Stanton were famous first wave American feminists. It can also be written as they were also both involved in the abolitionist movement. So here, Sojourner Truth and Elizabeth Cady Stanton were replaced by the corresponding pronoun they, because it is a plural noun. So as I explained here, for plural noun, the suitable pronoun is they, whether they are male or female, or they are neutral or non-human things. Okay, then you can use, if it is plural, you can use the pronoun they. Okay, that is what I have shown here. So, Sojourner Truth and Elizabeth Cady Stanton were famous first wave American feminists. It can be represented or it can be rewritten as they were also both involved in the abolitionist movement. Okay, I hope you understood when and where they is used as a pronoun. Now, in continuation, in speech, though early 21st century Americans commonly use they to refer a singular referent. In the early 21st century, Americans commonly use they to refer to a singular referent. Okay, they used they to refer a singular referent in the early 21st century. Okay, so according to many grammar experts, that usage is incorrect. Okay, but here is an example of how it sounds in our everyday speech. Let's see. The author of the Miss Magazine article explained the challenges faced by women professionals in the male-dominated fields of medicine, business, and law. So it can be written as they argued that feminists must fight the limitations of the glass ceiling many professional women encounter. Okay, so observe it carefully. The first sentence, the author of the Miss Magazine article explained the challenges faced by women professionals in the male-dominated fields of medicine, business, and law. Okay, so this can be represented in another way. So that is shown in the second sentence. They argued that the feminists must fight the limitations of the glass ceiling many professional women encounter. So here they is used for the author, but the author is singular noun, whereas they is used for plural noun. But in the early 21st century, Americans used they for referring singular referent. Okay, as I have shown here. Note that in this example, the author is singular, but it is replaced in the second sentence by they, which is a plural pronoun. In speech, we often don't notice such substitutions of the plural for the singular. But in writing, some will find such substitutions awkward or incorrect. In speech, we won't find or we won't notice such things. But while in writing also, some will find. In writing, it can be used like that people are expressing. But in writing also, some will find such substitutions awkward or incorrect. Okay. So that means these things are unacceptable now. In early 21st century, it is acceptable. It is fine. It was acceptable in early 21st century, but now it is not acceptable. Okay. So you have to follow according to the current era and current situation. Now, in continuation, some people argue that they should become the default gender neutral pronoun for English writing. So what some people argue? That they should become the default gender neutral pronoun. They are saying it is the default gender neutral pronoun, whether the noun is singular or plural, but it is unacceptable now. It is acceptable in the early 21st century, but according to the current era, current situation, they cannot be used for singular noun. Okay, it can be used only for plural noun. Okay, for English writing. But since that usage can still sound awkward to many readers, it's best to use they only in plural situations. Okay, it is best to use they only in plural situations. Okay, yes. Thus, one other option the general savvy writer may choose to employ is to make her or his sentence plural. Okay. So what I have shown here. Thus one other option the gender savvy writer may choose to employ is to make her or his sentence plural by using her or his as pronoun. Okay. So gender savvy writer means he is the writer of the gender sensitive language. Okay, please take a note of this. This will be coming again and again. Okay. Here is one way that you can work. Many people accept the negative stereotype that a feminist's beliefs are based on her hatred of men. Once again, I am repeating. Many people accept the negative stereotype that a feminist's beliefs are based on her hatred of men. Okay. So it can be represented in another way. Many people accept the negative stereotype that feminists base their beliefs on hatred of men. Please observe carefully. Many people accept the negative stereotype that feminists base their beliefs on hatred of men. Here they used their, and in the first sentence they used her hatred of men. Okay. So based on the sentence framing, so the gender can be represented by the corresponding sensitive language. So that is why we are referring this concept as gender sensitive language. Okay. So I hope you understood this usage of his or her. Many people accept the negative stereotype that a feminist's beliefs are based on her hatred of men. Here, her means feminist. So, feminist apostrophe S means feminist beliefs. The beliefs of feminist are based on her hatred of men. And it can be represented as many people accept the negative stereotype that feminists base their beliefs on hatred of men. So feminists, here noun is feminist, pronoun is there. In the first sentence, noun is feminist, pronoun is her. Okay, just using apostrophe S, then the beliefs of feminist. Here, feminists base their beliefs. Means feminist is noun and there is pronoun. Okay, I hope you understood the usage of both the sentence in the context of gender sensitive language. Now in continuation, use she or he or she/he. Another more simple option the gender savvy writer can use to deal with situations in which the gender of the referent is unknown or variable is to write out both pronoun option as she or he. Okay. So the more simple option the gender savvy writer can use to deal with situations in which the gender of the referent is unknown or variable is to write out both pronoun options as she or he. Okay, or she/he. For example, each women's studies major must take a course in feminist theory. Observe it carefully. Each women's studies major must take a course in feminist theory. So it can be represented as in continuation, she or he may also get course credit for completing an internship at a local organization that benefits women. So observe very carefully. Each women's studies major must take a course in feminist theory. So what is the consequence? She or he may also get course credit for completing an internship at a local organization that benefits women. Okay. And one more example, how you can write this. The same sentence you can write in a different way. Each women's studies major must take a course in feminist theory. Full stop. She/he, instead of she or he, Here she/he is used. Okay. So here the noun, the plural noun is represented as she or he, or she/he. Okay. So the pronoun used here is she or he, or she/he. She or he, or she/he. It can be used in any way. Okay. So each women's studies major must take a course in feminist theory. Stop. She/he may also get course credit for completing an internship at a local organization that benefits women. Okay. Yes. I hope you understood how to use the pronouns she or he, or she/he. Okay. So now let's move on to the continuation. So first of all, I have explained the usage of they. Next, I have explained the usage of she or he, or she/he. Now I am explaining the usage of alternate genders and pronouns as a part of pronouns, which is the part of gender sensitive language, which is the part of gender sensitization. Yes. So alternate genders and pronouns. You may also choose to alternate gendered pronouns. This option will only work in some situations, though usually those that refer to hypothetical situations, in which the referent is equally likely to be a male or female. In which the referent is equally likely to be a male or female. For example, both male and female students use the writing center's services. So the author of our staff manual chose to alternate between masculine and feminine pronouns when writing the following tutoring guidelines. So some tutoring guidelines were proposed. When writing the tutoring guidelines, they have used the pronoun as alternate genders. Okay, pronouns for alternate genders. How they used? So that is to represent both male and female students. So how they used? They chose to alternate between masculine and feminine pronouns. Okay, the alternate between masculine and feminine pronouns means sometimes his, sometimes her, like that. Let's see how the guidelines were made. First one, respond as a reader, explaining what and how you were or are thinking as you read her texts, so that she can discover where a reader might struggle with her writing. Okay. Next guideline is ask him to outline the draft to reveal the organization of the paper. Ask him to outline the draft to reveal the organization of the paper. Here ask him is used. And previously respond as a reader, explaining what and how you were or thinking as you read her texts. Here her text is used. So you can use alternate between masculine and feminine pronouns in this case when you are making guidelines. Okay, the guidelines are not only common to men, these are also common to women. So you can use alternate between masculine and feminine pronouns when you are making guidelines like this. And the next guideline is ask her. Here her is used to describe her purpose and audience and show how she has taken them into account in her writing. Okay, her is used. Ask her to describe her purpose and audience and show how she has taken them into account in her writing. And one more guideline, explain a recurring pattern and let him locate. Here him is used. Repeated instances of it. Explain a recurring pattern and let him locate repeated instances of it. Okay. So we can use alternate between masculine and feminine pronouns when making the guidelines, which are common to both men and women, are common to both male and female, are common to both boys and girls. Okay. Yes. Now, of course, this author could also have included both pronouns in each sentence by writing her or his. Both pronouns can be included by writing slash, her or his or her or him. Okay. But in this case, alternating use of gendered pronouns conveyed the same sense of gender variability and is likely a little easier on the reader who won't have to pause, 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 who won't have to stop. Here pause means stop, to process several different options every time a gendered pronoun is needed in the sentence. Okay. So in that case, you can use both in the same sentence, her slash his or her slash him. This example also provides a useful demonstration of how gender savvy writers can take advantage of many different options available by choosing the one that best suits the unique requirements of each piece of writing they produce. Okay. Let's see the example. So I hope you understood that example. This example means using his or her in the same sentence and also her or him in the same sentence by using slash. Okay. To represent both the gender. Okay. In the same sentence while writing the guidelines. Okay. Yes. Now in continuation of the pronouns, eliminate the pronoun altogether. If you have any confusion what pronoun to use, eliminate the pronoun altogether. Eliminate the pronoun altogether. So this is the best idea when you are not understanding what is the best pronoun to fit there. In that case, eliminate the pronoun altogether. So finally, you can also simply eliminate the pronoun. For example, Sojourner Truth and Elizabeth Cady Stanton were famous first wave American feminists. Okay, that I have explained in the first slide of pronouns. Sojourner Truth and Elizabeth Cady Stanton were famous first wave American feminists. So it can be used in another way without using any pronoun. Both women. So instead of Sojourner Truth and Elizabeth Cady Stanton, we can use both women. Instead of they, we can use both women. Both women were also involved in the abolitionist movement. Both women were also involved in the abolitionist movement. So instead of they, we can eliminate the pronoun altogether and we can use both women. Okay, this is the trick. And one more instance, many people accept the negative stereotype that feminists base their beliefs on hatred of men. So many people accept the negative stereotype that feminists base their beliefs on hatred of men. Okay. So here there is used. So instead of using there, you need not to use any pronoun that I have told just now, right? So let's see how to eliminate the pronoun altogether for this same sentence. Many people accept the negative stereotype that feminist beliefs are based on hatred of men. Here no pronoun is used. Here simply many people accept the negative stereotype that feminist beliefs are based on hatred of men. Okay, here her, there, nothing, no pronoun is used. Feminist beliefs are based on hatred of men. Just simply it is eliminated to avoid the confusion. Okay, I hope you understood how the pronouns were used as a part of gender sensitive language, which is as a part of gender sensitization. Okay, so 4 types of pronouns I have shown here. Masculine pronouns, feminine pronouns, and pronouns used for neutral or non-human nouns, and one thing is ambiguous, gender ambiguous or gender neutral third person singular pronouns, that is ambiguous. For that purpose we can use they in the first case, he or she or he slash she in the second case, and in the third case both together, her or him by using slash, okay, or her or his by using slash. And in the fourth case you can use the pronouns by alternate genders and pronouns, means both at a time in the same sentence. And one more thing, eliminate the pronouns altogether to avoid the confusion, okay, using they, using she or he or she slash he, and alternate genders means use her slash him or her slash his. And fourth one, eliminate pronouns altogether to avoid the confusion. Okay, I hope you all understood how to use various pronouns. And the references I followed were Gender Studies by Kadambari, and Gender Sensitization by Rajalakshmi Kalyani, and finally the website by Michigan Technological University website, okay, for this gender sensitive language. Thank you very much.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.